So in this video I'm just going to take a quick look at the LED strips, or the LED arrays I picked up, or a couple of them anyway, and some of the controllers. That's these little adapter, or these little devices here, and the equivalent thing but as a remote control. And so all these parts are 12 volts. This is, I think, these devices, or these strips here, they're meant to be functional, kind of simple ways of building signs and displays, and 12 volts is a pretty kind of standard thing to go for. And so I've got one of the 12 volt power supplies I picked up here. That's kind of hooked up and running there. And I'm going to power this array up here. So click the negative lights. Not sure how the camera's going to handle the kind of saturation. Okay. No idea what that green grid is that's appearing on screen. No, it's not there in real life. So that's that kind of light. It's reasonably bright. It's not great. I think it would work well in an unilluminated room. This on its own is not going to do much for the lighting in a regularly lit room. Connect up these ones here. They have I don't know if that's going to focus at this distance, but they've got a common positive connection, and you then put the ground to whatever you want to feed up. So let's hook positive line. Green, blue and red, as you'd expect. Okay, not brilliantly bright, but run them all together and it's not bad. I think these would be ideal for kind of the 7-segment display kind of mechanism I want to try and make. Yeah, that's kind of white, slightly blue, but it's good enough for what I want. And so I'm going to put this one to one side for now. There were lots of different types of controllers available. A lot designed for use with RGB arrays like that. This is the one I'm going to hook up now. So I spotted these little controllers in a couple of cabinets at different stalls. There's no real information as to what it was, but from the labelling you can make kind of an educated guess. You've got mode, speed and light, kind of 2 line in and out. And so it's going to be some kind of controller. So I think there are kind of 4 core, I believe, so 40 pence. So I took the chance. I took one home, kind of connected it up, and it kind of does what you'd expect. It's a controller, and so it'll do brightness of the light on and off. These are generating a slightly bizarre reflection in the screen, unfortunately. So I'm going to turn it on, and so you've got kind of control. I think it's just kind of just brightness up and down, and it does in quite a nice way. And it's also got this mode switch here, and this kind of toggles through various different things. And so you've got different flashing patterns, and you can kind of set the speed of these. Toggle through some of these modes here. You've got kind of different kind of flash sequences, patterns. I found an SOS sequence in here somewhere. It's a little bizarre. A few which I think would probably give you a seizure in the wrong mode. But these are, I think they're simple designs. They're meant for displays, for display windows, things like that, for lighting, to get people's attention to your kind of shop or your store, your market, and some really unpleasant stuff like that. And so I have no idea when I'd want to use something like this. But for the price they were, I bought a couple. They're quite nice, just to kind of have around. The remote controlled one is slightly more useful, and I'm going to wire that in now. Okay, so this RF control one here, the little piece in line is basically the same thing, but it doesn't have any visible buttons. It's just something you'd wire in. And the remote control here has basically the same kind of thing, so you've got mode and speed controlling through, but it's also got general brightness things. So power it on, and it does retain settings somewhere in here, which is quite nice. So 25, 50, 100%, and you've got kind of adjustments, probably about 10%, 5% at a time. And then there's the mode. So toggling through some of these. And so some of these have quite nice kind of various different fade patterns to them. Here we go, so this is SOS, ... No idea why it would be there, probably because they could, and it's maybe a recognisable sequence. So yeah, let's put that back to fixed. And yeah, this is quite nice. I'm slightly regretting only getting one of these now. Again, I've got no immediate use for something like this, but at I believe £1.50, £1.60 it cost, I probably should have got a few. Be quite handy to have. And so yeah, they're the two kind of controllers I picked up for this. They're quite nice to kind of have access to, or to have in a box somewhere if I need it. These white strips here, again I've got a couple more, nice for general purpose lighting, and I've got my RGB ones for hopefully the 7-segment grid. So in addition to those other LED items, I also picked up 2 reels. This one here is just a just white LEDs in a row. It's fairly high density. There seems to be in kind of chunks of 3 if you want to kind of cut it down, but pretty standard. And I've got a nice 5-meter length. Again, 12 volts, so it'll work with either of the controllers. But it's just a nice kind of a white, kind of a crisp white light, this one. And that'll be, I'm sure that something like that will come in quite useful at some point in the future. So the final thing I've got here is a, just going to focus badly, is a NeoPixel strip. I'm fairly certain these are NeoPixel strips. It's the, I think the WS211 or 2011 protocol. But it's got the right kind of data input output. I did a brief kind of check, and I'm fairly sure it's the correct thing. I got this 5-meter reel for basically £25, and it's, I think it's very good value for what it is. This is slightly higher density than what I've used before. This is 60 LEDs per meter. I've normally used kind of 30 before for cost reasons, really. And I believe kind of the equivalent thing from Adafruit directly cost about £75, so it's a third of the price, which obviously it makes sense. I mean, that's what it's going to be. So it's nothing actually there. The only thing that really stood out for me on this reel was the way the ends were terminated. In the past, yeah, you've got this connector here, but normally this is just 2 bare leads, but they've got connectors either end, so you can plug a 5-volt power supply straight into it, which I thought was quite a nice touch. So obviously in this this was on display running from a little kind of controller box, so it would kind of so you'd be able to toggle sequences similar to the little kind of LED controllers, but designed for this protocol. And so it would have been, so you might purchase one of these, run it around a shop window or a stand, plug in one of these little controllers and hook up a regular adapter, and you just want it to work. You don't want to wire it into things, and so that's why it's going to be terminated like this. I haven't tested this yet, but I'm hoping to hook it up at some point soon and make sure it is functioning. But I was very pleased with this. Again, like with a lot of things, I kind of wish I'd bought more of it.